I am very sad, but also very excited that this is going to be the last video that we end from the workshop.
And just like that, the sun is out.
It's pouring. We ended up cutting everything out.
Still got your pearls hanging by my bedside.
I know, huh?
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Lola's farm inside of our Hilux. We're having a little problem this morning. We live up on the side of a mountain. You can see towns down there. We're at about 5,500 feet in elevation. And everything for the most part that we bring up comes up on this truck on this rack. And our rack was just having a really hard time. You can see the bolts that we're holding in place. We're just ripping the whole bed of our truck apart.
Oh, it's starting to burn the plastic a little.
So we very carefully welded this 1/4-inch steel so the bolt, as it moves around on the road, can't make a bigger hole and then make the whole rack loose. But now we're gonna throw the rack up here and get some bolts in place to hold it into place.
Extraño, chao. 7110.
Oh no.
This thing is pretty heavy.
I gotta say, honey,
What?
Heidi looks so much better with her rack on.
This is why this rack and this truck is so important to us. Look at all this. We have a few 100 pounds of metal up here. We have gravel, we have sand, we have cement, we have gas. This is like a daily thing that we're doing, bringing all this stuff up here. So we really had to make sure that this thing is strong. But now that we got the materials, it's time to get back to work. So we're getting ready to put the next vertical 3x3 beam going up. So what we need to do is cut out this little part of the caballo here, because the 3x3 beam needs to be welded directly onto the channel. The mini summer has officially ended. It's been beautiful out. It's been perfect days for working. And now we're back to the rainy season. We're gonna be getting 2, 3, 4 inches of rain a day. We're really trying our hardest to do everything we can right now. It's still downpouring, but we got this big rusty beam out because we're gonna start working on the verticals. If you look at the A-frame, there. See that rusty beam? That's what we're cutting now.
And just like that, the sun is out. I actually brought my special little camping chair because there's a lot of times kind of like in between that there's really not a whole lot that I can do. I've really been trying to, I've told you guys, stay away from the welding because there's been a lot of welding of the carriolas, which is what? It's the galvanized, which is galvanized steel, very toxic. You want to stay away from that as much as possible. So as my belly gets bigger, my energy levels have kind of been very slowly deteriorating. So, got myself a seat, you know? So the boys are putting up the first supporting beam for the next A that we're gonna be putting up hopefully tomorrow. It's super, super important to get this thing perfectly leveled. So while George's welding it in, Rodrigo's taking a level to it and just making sure it is perfect.
Because we had to cut this part in the floor joist here, we're gonna put 2 carriolas on either side, just like this. All right, you guys, oh, I almost died. We're calling it, we're calling it quits. It's slippery, it's raining, and welding in the rain is a very, very bad idea. Just like walking on all these slippery beams.
Don't do it.
But I really want to show you guys what we did. So what we did is you can see this beam here, and this beam on this side. That's kind of like sandwiching the old caballo. And it extends past a meter, and then it goes all the way to here. And this is just so strong. Also what we did, if you look underneath here, we put this piece of angle. This is 1/4 inch 2x2 steel angle, and that is because these beams on the inside are cut right here. So this just gives a little bit extra support. And I gotta give a shout out to our friend Bruce. Bruce.
Oh man.
Bruce is a professor, an architect professor. And I've told you guys a little bit before about how architecture plans work here in Panama. They're not as detailed. So we've been going to Bruce. He's a professor at the University of St. Louis. He's been giving us some awesome guidance recently on some of these little problems that we have. And this was all Bruce's idea. So shout out to you, Bruce.
We love you.
So this is usually, this is usually how we end our days, is just tidying up the workshop, cleaning everything up. I gotta say.
What do you gotta say, honey?
It's definitely a little bit bigger of a deal than before when we used to clean up the bus. We have a lot more people coming in and out. Obviously it's a bigger space. And now we have a vacuum. But let me say something. Dyson's
overrated.
Yes, you're speaking my mind, honey. My honey with no pants. Dyson, 100% overrated. It's like you spend all this money, you think you're gonna be getting this like futuristic, like crazy suction vacuum. And I gotta be honest.
Kinda sucks.
Kinda sucks, and not in the good way. Little girl. You want your nummy, honey? Come over here. Sit. You're already doing everything at once. Down. Touch me down the foot. Touch me right there. So a little update for you guys since Lola had her seizure. So obviously we're gonna keep up with her homemade food, but the other thing that we're starting to do as well is give her some CBD, and it's bacon flavored and she loves it. So sometimes I'll drop some on her food, or I'll just drop it on the floor and she'll lick it up. So I've really been trying to harness my inner mommy mode. And I've been doing this new thing really only in the last like 3 days, where once 5 or 6 o'clock hits, I try to stray away from any type of social media or just like endless scrolling in my phone.
She basically just goes to bed.
No, I do not. My bedtime has been around 8:30.
I don't know about that. I just walked into the kitchen and Kayla goes, I am cooking up a feast over here.
Look at this feast. It's we got going on? We got banana bread already done, already a piece eaten. We got potatoes. We got salmon with my special sauce. We got garlic. Roasted up just for you, baby. Yeah.
Give me a yip.
Give me a yip. Wait, I'm naked.
We're making a lot of progress. We now have the second side all supported, the second beam in, and now we're getting ready to weld the second A. We have the angle right, 60-degree angle on the top. It's pretty easy to actually figure it out. To find 60 degrees is pretty easy. All we did was measure it a 1/2 meter to there, and then a 1/2 meter to there, and you know it's 60 degrees if it's a 1/2 meter from there to there. So all three angles should be the same length.
So the last thing that Jordan and Rodrigo need to do is just weld the two little plates that are basically going to be used as what we're going to pivot the A on, so that it stays into place while it's getting pulled up. So they're going to try to just go for it and weld this in right now in the rain. Rodrigo's going to hold the umbrella over Jord while he welds it in, and then try to get this A up as quickly as possible.
We're sick of sitting around and waiting. It's pouring. And we're just gonna keep going. We have the welder underneath the umbrella, and we're just gonna keep going.
We're on a time crunch, baby. We can't stop.
This is a project for the Boy Scout. Kake's tying the knots. But let's just make sure this time that we can get the rope down. We have one here that's just like forever there until we actually get up there.
Or learn to fly.
What kind of knot is this going to be, Kake? The bow line?
Huh?
The fisherman's knot? Look at what happens after the rain. Look at how humid it gets. It's like, it feels like we're in a sauna right now, but with this one we're going to tie the knot in a way so one end we can lift it up, and then on the other end if we pull it, it'll undo the knot. So I don't know how to do this, but good thing we have a Boy Scout. Here we go again. Gus! Oh no.
Oh my god. Freaking best value. Rope, don't break. Ajá, Adriana, desde abajo, empuja.
Yeah, you got it, you got it.
Vamos!
Woohoo! You got it!
We are strong!
No one is gonna die today on my watch.
Woo! Oh my god.
Okay, we're going up.
Make sure he grabs the right one. Wait, how do we know he's grabbing the right one?
Much easier this time with two ropes and without the wind and without the rain. We're just making sure, now what we have to do is just really make sure that these two A's are the exact same distance from the main frame, the exact same angle. So Rodrigo now is just measuring it, and once we get it right into the right spot, we're gonna weld it into place. We're just double checking everything before we finish all the welds and get it all into place. It's so important that all this stuff is level, but it's hard because these beams are a little bit rounded, so it's really hard to tell if it's level or not. So we're doing the absolute best that we can to get it as level as possible. It's been a little slow going, getting the second one in. We got it up real fast, but getting the second one level has been a little bit of a challenge. I'm really concerned about just getting it perfect and right, because if one of these is off, it's just going to create a lot more work in the future. And one of our beams is off by less than a centimeter, which is less than a ½ inch, and we ended up cutting everything out and then doing it all over again because it's just not worth it. When you start letting things like that slide from laziness, it just creates way more work in the future. And if both of these are perfectly parallel, it just makes everything so much easier. Well, we're gonna call it here, you guys. The rain has been on and off. You can see how cloudy it is now. It's been so on and off, we've just been kind of like running back and forth, and we're just gonna call it. But it's up. It's not totally welded in yet. It's not 100% there, but it's there. The hard part's done. And tomorrow we're gonna be able to finish it all up. Tomorrow's actually gonna be our last day of work before we go back to the States. I am very sad, but also very excited that this is gonna be the last video that we end from the workshop.
For 5 months.
For 2021.
Oh my God.
In the next video, we're gonna do a little bit of work, but then by the end of it, we're gonna be back in Boston. Honey, this is our home.
I know, but it's 2
We have 2 homes, I know.
2 homes.
I know, but you know, home is where family is.
We're gonna be home from home, you know.
We go from home to home.
Home to home.
We got 2 homes.
Got 2 homes. These last few weeks, or I should say this last month being here, getting as much done as we could and then prepping for this time to go back to the States has been so bittersweet and just absolute madness at the same time.
I think obviously I'm gonna miss all the people here. Kake, Adriana, Rodrigo, Iberto, Enrique, all of our friends here. But then next I'm gonna miss the puppies.
Oh my gosh.
So
and the
much.
goats. And the chickies.
Yeah, they're gonna be different when we get back.
And the Raj.
For this, we're gonna say goodbye to you guys. Thanks so much for following along, and we'll see you next time.